The wrath of Hurricane Ian, the strongest September hurricane to strike the Gulf Coast in more than 15 years. The extent of the damage in Florida is not yet fully known, but the storm is no doubt destructive.
Hurricane Ian was one of the most powerful and destructive storms in modern U.S. history. Striking in late September 2022, it devastated western Cuba, central Florida, and parts of the Carolinas. Becoming the costliest hurricane in Florida's history and the third costliest tropical cyclone ever recorded, with damages reaching $112 billion. Ian's impact, marked by winds up to 160 miles per hour, record-breaking storm surges, and catastrophic flooding, cemented its legacy as Florida's monster storm.
We have seen life-threatening storm surge, as was predicted. We've also seen major flooding that's going to rank as one of the top 5 hurricanes to ever hit the Florida Peninsula.
Are you guys okay?
Formation and rapid intensification. Ian began as a tropical disturbance east of the Windward Islands on September 19, 2022. Within days, it strengthened from a tropical depression to a Category 5 hurricane, fueled by the warm waters of the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico. By September 23rd, the National Hurricane Center identified it as Tropical Depression 9, and by September 24th, it became Tropical Storm Ian. Rapid intensification followed, with wind speeds climbing from 40 miles per hour to over 120 miles per hour within 48 hours.
This is a storm surge that we talked about, but we weren't sure about.
On September 27, Ian made its first landfall in Cuba's Pinar del Rio province as a Category 3 storm with sustained winds of 125 miles per hour, the strongest to hit the province since 2008. The impact caused a nationwide power outage across Cuba, leaving 11 million people without electricity. Landfall in Florida.
Got breaking news tonight. 2.5 million people in Florida now under strict orders to evacuate as Hurricane Ian takes aim at the Gulf Coast, and it could hit Tampa as the strongest storm in over 100 years.
After crossing Cuba, Ian entered the Gulf of Mexico, rapidly regaining strength over exceptionally warm waters. By September 28th, it reached Category 5 intensity with sustained winds of 160 miles per hour and a central pressure of 937 millibars, among the lowest ever recorded in U.S. hurricanes.
5 p.m., Hurricane Ian is located roughly 250 miles south of Sarasota. It's moving north at 10 miles per hour. It is a strong Category 3 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour.
That afternoon, Ian made landfall on Cayo, Costa, Florida as a Category 4 hurricane with 150 mile per hour winds, tying as the 5th strongest U.S. landfalling hurricane. The storm's 12 to 13-foot storm surge overwhelmed coastal defenses, flooding Fort Myers Beach, Cape Coral, and Naples, and driving water several kilometers inland.
This is where we were. We were showing you the ocean. We were showing you the Gulf, really, the Gulf of Mexico, and the storm surge coming in. It continues to come in. Now, if Randy just tilts down a little bit, you can see this is our parking lot. This is the parking lot of where we're staying. Look at the water coming in over here. Now, look down there. You can see cars completely submerged. You can see debris flying around.
Nearly 97% of structures in Fort Myers Beach were damaged or destroyed. As Ian tracked across the state, passing south of Orlando, it weakened to a tropical storm, but not before producing 20 to 26 inches of rain in many areas. Cities such as Titusville and Lake Wales recorded 1 in 500-year rainfall events, while some regions saw 1 in 1,000-year floods. Second, U.S. landfall and dissipation. After devastating Florida, Hurricane Ian moved back into the Atlantic Ocean, where it briefly regained strength. By the morning of September 30th, 2022, the storm intensified into a Category 1 hurricane as it tracked northward along the U.S. East Coast.
At this hour, Ian is now a hurricane again, a Category 1, 75 miles an hour are the winds, now moving back into the warm Atlantic waters. Forecast to crash back ashore in South Carolina sometime tomorrow. And we have new images tonight of Ian's fury. The eye wall plowing through Placida, Florida, ripping homes to shreds there. The storm surge overpowering this building in Fort Myers Beach.
That afternoon, Ian made his final landfall near Georgetown, South Carolina, with maximum sustained winds of approximately 85 miles per hour and a central pressure of around 977 millibars. Despite weakening, the storm brought heavy rainfall, storm surge, and strong onshore winds to coastal communities in both Carolinas.
More than 1 million Floridians have no power right now. Hurricane Ian made landfall, tied as the 5th most powerful storm ever to hit the United States. A Category 4 hurricane, maximum sustained winds 150 miles an hour, just shy of a Cat 5. The center of the storm struck Cayo Costa, a barrier island west of Fort Myers and Cape Coral in Lee County.
By October 1st, Ian had transitioned into an extratropical cyclone over the Carolinas before dissipating completely over central North Carolina. Even in its final hours, the storm left behind significant destruction. 5 deaths in North Carolina were linked to flash flooding, falling debris, and storm-related accidents. Human and economic toll. Hurricane Ian was responsible for 161 confirmed deaths, 5 in Cuba, 150 in Florida, 5 in North Carolina, and 1 in Virginia. The majority of fatalities occurred in Southwest Florida. Where residents were trapped by storm surges as high as 13 feet, 4 meters. Many victims drowned in their homes or vehicles as floodwaters rapidly engulfed coastal neighborhoods. The storm also left a massive humanitarian and infrastructural crisis. Across the U.S., 2.7 million people lost power and tens of thousands were displaced. In Florida, more than 7,000 boats were damaged or sunk in the state's extensive canal and marina systems, while critical transportation links collapsed, including the Sanibel Causeway and Pine Island Bridge, which cut off thousands of residents from the mainland for days. In terms of property loss, Ian destroyed around 5,000 homes and damaged an additional 30,000 in Florida alone. Economic damages totaled $112 billion, surpassing Hurricane Irma, 2017, and ranking behind only Katrina, 2005, and Harvey, 2017, as the 3rd costliest storm in U.S. history. The combination of storm surge, Record rainfall and infrastructure collapse made Hurricane Ian one of the most destructive natural disasters ever recorded in the United States.
Damage the storm left behind. This Fort Myers beach community left in splinters. The ground littered with debris. Along the shore, a pile of boats unmoored. And far from the coastline tonight, neighborhoods flooded for miles, one home on fire with no way to fight the flames. And the major damage to infrastructure across the region. The Sanibel Causeway severely damaged tonight and unusable. Nearly 2 million people still without power in this state tonight. And on the northeast coast of Florida, Ian arriving as a tropical storm in St. Augustine at peak high tide. Orlando getting record rain and flooding, rescues taking place there.
Aftermath and recovery, the devastation prompted a massive response. Search and rescue operations, supported by FEMA, the Red Cross, and state agencies, were deployed across southwest Florida.
And the efforts to rescue families remain underway statewide. In Naples, a car window smashed to free the driver inside. In Tampa, boats ferrying people to safety from their flooded homes. And in Orlando, more than 100 residents rescued from a nursing home where sandbags failed to keep the water out.
However, criticism emerged regarding the speed and coordination of federal relief efforts, leading to a congressional investigation in 2023 examining FEMA's response and the disaster recovery framework. Beyond immediate impacts, Hurricane Ian exposed long-term vulnerabilities. Engineers noted that Florida's pro-development policies, including decades of wetland removal and canal construction, amplified flood risks. Experts also emphasized that climate change intensified the storm's rainfall, with models suggesting that 10% of Ian's total rainfall could be attributed to human-induced warming.
Tonight, the deadly toll of Hurricane Ian, the massive destruction here in Florida, coming into clearer focus. The deadly storm making history as one of the most powerful hurricanes ever to make landfall here in southwest Florida. And along with the hurricane, the staggering amount of rain. A once-in-a-thousand-year rainfall, they're calling it here. Bridges destroyed, homes on fire, entire neighborhoods underwater in Fort Myers. The Lee County Sheriff surveying the devastation, capturing these images tonight. The shorelines decimated, plumes of thick black smoke in this neighborhood.
In recognition of its catastrophic legacy, the name Ian was retired from the Atlantic hurricane naming list and will be replaced by Idris in 2028. Hurricane Ian stands as a grim reminder of how extreme weather, population growth in coastal regions, and climate change intersect to magnify disaster. Its record-breaking surge, massive rainfall, and economic destruction underscore Florida's vulnerability to major hurricanes and the urgent need for resilient infrastructure and adaptive planning.